This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Eric Morton of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure that you never miss the latest from Disney theme parks around the world. Here now is the news for September 9th, 2024. Big news today at Magic Kingdom as TRON Lightcycle Run opened up for its very first standby queue, and things got off to a fast start, literally. Right at park open, the wait time shot up to 105 minutes. Guests were racing, and yes, some actually running, please don't run, to be among the first in line. Our team arrived just before 9 a.m. and joined a queue, which stretched all the way back past Tomorrowland Speedway. Now, the ride initially posted a 45-minute wait, but just in a few minutes, that shot up to 105. The wait time bounced around a bit early on, eventually settling down to about 70 minutes. Interestingly, the rush to TRON caused wait times to drop at other rides around the park, of course. So over at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, for example, the line shrunk to just 30 minutes, something we don't normally see over at that attraction. Despite the early chaos, things calmed down quickly. By the time we boarded at 9:55 a.m., our total wait time had actually been about 56 minutes. Not bad for such a popular attraction on its first day of the standby queue. So stay tuned, and we'll be following this one for you. Calling all Haunted Mansion fans, there's a spooky new addition to the Haunted Mansion Classic Collection that just hit the shelves at Walt Disney World. The Haunted Mansion Gargoyle Diffuser is now available at World of Disney and Disney Springs for $69.99. The diffuser is modeled after the iconic gargoyle candelabras from the stretching room, complete with a faux oxidized brass finish and a wood-look base. It's USB powered and sends out haunting scents from the candles, though you'll actually have to provide those yourself. Add water and essential oils, I suspect, to get it going. The diffuser is also available online at DisneyStore.com and is just one part of a whole collection that includes things like that Haunted Mansion waffle maker we talked about last week. Perfect for adding a little spooky flair to your home just in time for Halloween. Work on the Adventureland pavement has now reached Sunshine Tree Terrace, causing some slight bottlenecks in the area as the new pavement dries. The quick service spot opens at 10 a.m., so there's time for the fresh pavement, complete with animal prints and mossy touches to set, hopefully. This project began a few weeks ago near the Adventureland Bridge, and the new themed pavement is reminiscent of what we've seen in Frontierland and Storybook Circus in the past. The animal prints range from hoof marks to bird tracks, possibly inspired by the residents of Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, perhaps. I don't know. I like to think that anyway. A brand new dessert, the snowy Mooncake, is coming to the China Global Marketplace in celebration of the Moon Festival. This special treat will be available from September 8th through 21st and is made with snow skin infused with butterfly pea flour and filled with creamy custard. The intricate design features raised flowers on top of small columns on the sides. The Moon Festival, also known as the Mid-Autumn Festival, is a significant harvest celebration in Chinese culture, marking the 15th day of the 8th month in a lunar calendar. Well, I'm getting ready to hit the road in a few days, and what better way than to have someone else plan it for you, especially if they're planning it for free. If that sounds good to you, visit our friends at Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest Vacations and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head over to www.nt.travel, and their team will design your next magical vacation from Disney World and Disneyland to Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more and more. They're also able to book those unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. I can tell you those VIP tours are pretty incredible, and you would be surprised just how much you can get done in a day if you're on a VIP tour, by the way. Skip all the lines, park backstage, free snacks, water, great view for fireworks at the end of the day, etc. The best part, their concierge services are 100% free, so the only thing holding you back is you, I guess. Thanks to those of you who support this sponsor. It really means a lot to have people support the people who support us. There's a new way to bring a bit of the Hollywood Tower Hotel home with you. Introducing the Tower of Terror Pajama Set. These silky maroon PJs are inspired by the hotel's classic color scheme, and they're now available for $49.99 at Tower Hotel Gifts in Disney's Hollywood Studios. The set features characters like Donald Duck, Mickey, and Minnie Mouse, all styled in a fun retro theme, perfect for a cozy night in without the fear of entering that fifth dimension. Heads up for Disney Spring shoppers. The Marketplace Starbucks will be closing for a short refurbishment starting any day now this week. The location will be closed for about 2 weeks, but don't worry, the West Side Starbucks will stay open so you can still grab your coffee while visiting. Cast members from the Marketplace location are going to be temporarily moved over to the West Side during the closure, and there's also talk of a significant update coming to the West Side Starbucks once this project wraps up, so stay tuned. Oh boy, Bob Chapek news. By speaking with scores of people involved with the tumultuous time at the Walt Disney Company between Bob Chapek's rise to CEO in 2020 to his firing in 2022, the New York Times has provided a very detailed report of the power struggle between Chapek and Iger during one of the most difficult periods in the history of the company. The transition from Iger to Chapek as CEO of the Walt Disney Company was anything but smooth. To those on the inside, it looked as though Iger didn't truly want to relinquish his power over the company, despite wanting to officially step down as CEO. While Chapek felt that he had the support of Iger in many ways, it was clear that when he became CEO, the two were just not seeing eye to eye on many things. That included what Chapek would be in charge of. One of the first matters to drive a wedge between the two men was when Chapek was not named to the board of directors. It was an unusual decision, as almost all CEOs serve as board members. Additionally, Iger stayed on as executive chairman and chief creative officer. Because of this, Chapek was forced to answer to both Iger and the board. Despite the strange circumstances, Chapek accepted the terms. Guess he didn't really have a choice. In an initial meeting between him and Susan Arnold, who has served as the chairwoman of the Walt Disney Company since December 31st of 2021, Chapek was issued a warning. Give him a wide berth. Don't step on his toes. Did Chapek listen? That's debatable. After Chapek took over as CEO in February of 2020, Iger continued to make huge decisions for the company. When the COVID-19 pandemic impacted domestic Disney parks, California Governor Gavin Newsom called Iger to discuss keeping the parks open, whether to keep them open or not. Iger told him the parks should probably close for safety reasons. While Chapek did agree with the decision, he was given no input in the matter. Shortly thereafter, Chapek and Chief Financial Officer Christine McCarthy decided to furlough 90,000 employees at the theme parks, but Iger insisted they wait until the CARES Act was signed into law that would give cast members a safety net during that time. When Iger's decision won out, Chapek's wife referred to Chapek as Iger's, quote, lapdog. When New York Times media columnist Ben Smith released a column detailing a conversation he'd had with Iger in which Chapek was sort of shown in a negative light, Chapek was furious. Arnold was taken aback by Chapek's reaction to the article and urged him to calm down and defer to Iger. She felt he was being paranoid, that Iger was trying to destroy him. To show support for Chapek, the board finally named Chapek a director. Shortly after becoming a board member, Chapek decided to strip the creative heads of authority, preventing them from determining spending and distribution for their projects. This essentially served as a demotion for all of them, a huge popularity move for him. While Chapek was warned by at least a dozen senior executives that the reorganization was a bad idea, he was given strong backing by the board to move forward with Disney media and entertainment distribution. Reportedly, Iger raised questions but didn't have standing within the room to make any meaningful changes. At Destination D23 in 2021, you remember this one, Chapek reportedly pulled out as a speaker for fear that fans would boo him. He claimed it was because of a last-minute commitment. That last-minute commitment, by the way, was Iger's farewell party. The New York Times implies that Iger did not want Chapek to host the party, so he instead decided to have it himself when he knew that Chapek would not be available. Ultimately, Chapek went to the party anyway and canceled his appearance at Destination D23. In March of 2022, the Walt Disney Company released a statement intending to speak out against the Parental Rights and Education Bill. The problem wasn't Chapek's stance necessarily, it was that he only spoke up after a poor company response to his statement that corporate statements do very little to change outcomes. After all, Iger had denounced the bill a month before Chapek said anything at all. To make matters worse, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis vehemently opposed the statement from the Walt Disney Company, which led to the repeal of the Reedy Creek Improvement Act. While Iger never said the board should fire Chapek, Chapek could feel that things were not going well for him. He's said to have told Arnold that he was worried things were going to get worse and Iger was going to be more vocal about his dislike for Chapek. As the issues continue to pile up, It was Chapek's former allies, McCarthy and Arnold, who ultimately betrayed him. Without consulting Chapek, McCarthy entered board meetings with the numbers and forecasts that showed the direction of the Walt Disney Company. Chapek was not present for the meetings where these conversations took place because, as you might remember, he was petting hippos at Disney's Animal Kingdom, maybe to appear more human, we were told. The figures presented were the final puzzle piece that led to Chapek's firing. As Chapek prepared to go to the Elton John concert being live streamed on Disney+, Arnold called him to inform him that he was no longer the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. When asked why he was being fired and wasn't being given the option to resign, Arnold told him that the board had lost faith in him. After his firing, Chapek hired Brian Friedman, who advised him he had a very strong claim against Iger because Iger was interfering with Chapek's ability to do his job. Ultimately, Chapek elected not to seek legal action because his family is, quote, a Disney family, and he didn't want to hurt the company. There's a lot in this piece. Feel free to go read it. It's long, exhaustive, and very interesting. And I will tell you, it's hard to pick a villain and a hero. Maybe sometimes two people can be villains. Two people can be wrong about something. There might be some heroics on both parts. I'm kind of a Chapek's a villain, and Iger had a dark side to him as well. We'll see. I don't know. Make your own decisions and tell us in the comments. In a new Manning cast video, Disney CEO Bob Iger tells Peyton Manning that Disney would not give Omaha its own section at EPCOT. In the video, Peyton and Eli Manning put together and star in Manning Cast, the musical, inspired by their Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli TV show. Their journey starts with Peyton calling Iger looking for a theater. Iger answers the phone and immediately says they won't be building an Omaha section in Epcot. It's a reference, by the way, if you're not a football person, it's a reference to Peyton's famous cadence he used when he was a quarterback. He would say Omaha, Omaha, maybe when some quarterbacks say downset, whatever. He'd say Omaha, Omaha. It became a Peyton Manning catchphrase, sort of play on his on-field persona. The 10-minute video also features cameos by Jimmy Kimmel, Snoop Dogg, Kevin Hart, Michael Bublé, and more. You can, of course, watch it. We have a link to it in our article. Last year, Manning and Phil Simms visited Walt Disney World in an episode of ESPN Plus original Peyton's Places about the origins of I'm Going to Disney World. Manning made a cameo appearance in the first season of The Santa Clauses on Disney Plus. I'm sure all of you have seen that. 2013 documentary, The Book of Manning, about the legendary family, is also available to watch on Disney Plus. Manning Cast is a simultaneous broadcast of Monday Night Football featuring Peyton and Eli alongside friends. And they make comments. They give their own comments. It's kind of, if you don't watch football, the best like nerd parallel to this I can give is like Mystery Science Theater. So it's like Mystery Science Theater for Monday Night Football. Does that help? I don't know. Big news from Disneyland. After more than a year, the iconic Space Mountain Tunnel has finally been repaired. The tunnel, which creates the illusion of speeding through space with pulsing blue lights, had been out of commission with most of the lights burned out since at least October of 2023. After a recent refurbishment, which began in August, the tunnel is now back in action with an improved lighting effect. Riders can now enjoy a mix of blue and white pulses as they launch into space. The ride had some temporary projection effects, but the tunnel's original lighting has now been fully restored. Space Mountain has been thrilling Disneyland guests since it opened in 1977, and this refurbishment brings the ride closer to its classic glory. You can check out, of course, we have a video of it right here on our channel. You can compare side by side. If you want to, let us know in the comments what you think. I know Space Mountain is important to a lot of people here. Just in time for the release of Agatha All Along on Disney+. That'll be on September 18th, by the way. We've got a magical new Agatha Harkness ear headband available at Disneyland Resort. You can find the headband at Los Feliz 5 and Dime in Disney California Adventure for $34.99. The ears feature a sleek black to purple gradient with green tree branches and a crescent moon on the left ear. The black velvet bow has a floral pattern with a felt brooch in the center, showing the Mother Maiden and crone silhouettes, just like the brooch Agatha wore in WandaVision. The headband is lined with purple non-slip velour, and the Marvel logo appears on the side. The German government has stepped up with a rescue deal to potentially save Meyer Werft, the shipbuilder behind Disney Cruise Line's fleet. Well, most of it anyway. This comes just weeks after Disney announced at D23 that 4 more cruise ships will be joining the fleet between 2027 in 2031. According to a report from Bloomberg, the German government and the state of Lower Saxony will each acquire a 40% stake in Meyer Werft, injecting around 200 million euros, that's $222 million, to support the company. Additionally, they will guarantee 80% of a $2.8 billion, 2.6 billion euros credit line to help Meyer Werft through the tough times caused by the pandemic and a slowdown in German manufacturing in general. Meyer Werft has built ships for Disney for many years, and this deal ensures they can continue the partnership with 8 ships now in the order book for Disney Cruise Line, including the Disney Treasure. We're going to see that real soon. Disney Destiny, Disney Adventure, and all those ships that have not been named yet. For the absolute latest on these stories and all those that did not make it on today's show, please be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can also support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. A special shout out to all the WIGS members watching who make this show happen each and every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Eric Morton saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.